so what are you doing here? Why are you talking to me today?
Oh,
How'd you get here?
how I get here.
Yeah.
So I've been working at Riverside for the last 30 years.
Well, first off, thanks for even being here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
sure.
It's an honor to be your second guest.
Absolutely.
So I started here in May 1992.
Okay.
I was sitting across the street at Socorro Park, circling help wanted ads from the New York Times
Okay.
because I needed a job.
Okay.
And every morning I would do that. I'll go up and I will actually pray to the angel, the resurrection angel, or as we call it now, Gabriel. And I finished praying to the angel, and I looked down and I was circling my help wanted ads. I look up, there was no angel.
There was no angel because you were hallucinating, or did something happen?
No. Only I was just drinking coffee.
Okay.
The angel fell down from the 8th floor tower.
From the 8th floor
on
tower.
top of the main sanctuary,
Wow.
down to right below 122nd Street.
Get out of here.
It was a windy day,
Okay.
and pierced a Mercedes, a white Mercedes, in the corner of 122nd,
And this all happened right in front of your eyes.
right in front of my eyes.
Wow.
I ran down and I saw the angel. I walk into 91 Claremont, tell the security guard, listen, the angel fell down.
Right.
They were not believing me. He goes, what are you,
Yeah, the same way I'm not believing you now.
Yeah.
This is kind of, okay, so what happened
And
next?
so, yes, the angel right on top of the sanctuary fell down.
Wow.
The security guard went down with me, and he saw it, and then he called the operational manager.
Okay.
The operational manager used to work at Manhattan School of Music, where I used to work previously.
Oh, so just your luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So James Marin, we went to the corner. He goes, "Oh, that is my brand new car."
Wow. Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy, And so we started talking, and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing?" He goes, "I'm looking for work."
Yeah.
Ever since my layoff at Manhattan School of Music, I can't find a job. He goes, I have 6 weeks here in the mailroom because the mailroom attendant goes away on vacation to Colombia, and we don't have mail for 2 weeks, for 2 months.
For 2 months, right.
So he goes, okay. So in 6 weeks, I learned the Riverside way.
Right.
I learned all the staff. I really went out of my way to endear myself with Riverside.
Okay.
And then at the end of the 6 weeks, well, actually turned to be 8 weeks,
Okay.
I had 14 letters of recommendations.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I went up to the executive minister called me, and he says, "Oh, you have 14 letters of recommendation. People seem to like you here.
And this is from staff?
Tenants,
Tenants, right? Okay.
the weekday school,
Wow. Right.
so Columbia."
Okay.
And just, okay, I think we're going to keep you.
Wow. And this is all the way back since then?
Ever since then.
Oh, so that's how you landed
I
officially
landed
here.
officially here.
Was there anything that your parents kind of tried to instill in you, religion, faith, all these
We
other
grew
things?
up Catholic.
Right.
Down the street here at Corpus Christi.
Right.
We used to go every Sunday. But from a small child, all of the icons, all of the rituals, I really did not feel in my heart that was religion.
Right.
Basically, it was worshiping to an icon, and you felt empty. My first introduction to Riverside was right across the street here, Union Theological Seminary. There used to be he's now passed on, lovely man. His name was Pat Washington. Patrick James Washington. And we were actually would play baseball right across the street at Riverside Park, and we will play with our bare hands, you know. And one day he came and he was a little bit.
Was he like eccentric?
Yeah. No. We will scare him.
Oh, so he.
Because he was wearing all black and a white collar.
Okay.
And and he came in, you know.
Right. So he had this ominous presence to you guys, right?
And he says, "Why you guys don't have any gloves to catch the ball?"
Yeah.
And I told him, "Mister, I'm saving for a Spalding glove at Modell's."
Right.
And I had like $15, and it was like $18.50.
Yeah.
The Spalding glove. Yeah. 2 weeks later, he came by and gave us all gloves, bats.
Really?
Yeah.
A generous man.
Yeah. So he was the president of Union Theological Seminary.
Okay.
And when I started working here, I worked the first FOSTIC convocation, which was it was a meeting of all ministers, all Protestant ministers in the nation. And I met him. And I told him, you know, when I was 12 years old, you gave me my first glove.
Wow.
And he goes, I don't believe you still have it.
Yeah.
The next day, when we were working together, because I was doing box office.
You brought it.
I brought it in, and he goes, wow.
Was it just more so did that have any effect with your, I guess with your, with religion in that sense?
I went back home and I told my mom, you know, that I didn't want to go to Corpus Christi anymore on Sunday morning.
Okay.
That I want to go to Riverside.
Right. Okay.
And she never, because Catholic, she went.
Yeah.
And
how did she take to that? Did she?
She yelled at me and said, you know, you're gonna go, you know.
Yeah, right.
Did
she ever come here at any point with you, or?
No, my mom. No, the only time that my mom came here is when I graduated from junior high school. And graduation time.
Okay.
And in 1978, I graduated from junior high school.
Did they hold the graduation here?
The graduation here.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember Eartha Kitt was the guest speaker.
Okay.
You know, Catwoman in those days.
Right.
I was afraid of her too, you know. So that was her first experience.
Okay. And then what about your father? I think if I remember correctly, you said your father was also an architect back in
My father was a successful architect in Cuba.
Okay.
Didn't have any inkling of coming to the United States, although he had family here.
Yeah.
He never wanted to come to the United States because, you know, he loved his profession.
Yeah.
And he was doing, you know.
He's doing well there.
Aside from the politics and the dictatorship of
Fidel Castro. At that time,
he was fine,
yeah.
but my father and my mom sacrificed a lot.
Oh, listen.
In order to migrate to a strange country.
And just to make things work for their child, right? So speaking from somebody who has their first kid, 6 months old, sacrifice is a big.
I was the only child also.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
No brothers, no sisters?
No brothers, no sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you had, no. Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
So
that's, you see, like I said, I knew we had a kindred spirit because I'm also an only child. My dad
really?
was also an architect. He still is an architect.
Oh.
And actually took architecture in my first semester of college. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really thought you had brothers or sisters, but
no.
It makes all the sense. That's why we can talk all day.
All day. That's right. That's right. That's right. I mean, the immigration part of it is very dear to me.
Right.
Even now,
especially
where
with everything that's going on
immigrants
now.
are coming in.
Yeah. Which we'll touch on that subject later on. But
okay.
Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense. So you've been here for how many years now?
30 years. And in the knowledge that I have gained here in 30 years, I really have enhanced my belief and in hospitality. Because I believe that church itself, anyone walks into that into the church is seeking something. Either they're having a bad day, or they're going through a bad stretch in life, and they're seeking something. So we welcome them. We talk to them about what is that ailing them. Some lady says that running the gift shop that is retail therapy. You know, they come there and they buy something, we'll talk,
Yeah.
And they feel better about themselves afterwards.
Right.
And the church has to be that. And in this world that is been so much separation, I think the church should be a nurturing place that you could come and just talk to someone.
Right.
You know, I try to learn everybody's name. I mean, we have over 1,700 people here.
Yeah.
But you're the core of Riverside. You know, those 350 members. I think I know all their names. And I walk, you know, when they walk in, I say, you know, hello, Susan, you know, hello, Imogene, you know, and that makes them feel better. You know, they feel that they're it's their church home, and they could be they could feel a little more supported.
Right.
And then when they go back home, maybe their situation will change.
Yeah. No.
And feel a little better.
And I think a lot of that is, you know, a lot of that comes from you also. You know, you run the gift shop, right? So.
Yes, I have a little retail background.
Right.
When I was attending NYU, I was a part-time manager of jewelry, fine jewelry at Herald Square here at Macy's. Okay. Macy's Herald Square. And I learned a lot. I really learned a lot about dealing with people. And also, I think I know jewelry. Right. And trends.
And how long were you doing that?
I did that for 4 years. Okay. Yeah, 4 years. Okay. And then things at home got a little more we call it hectic. Hectic. Okay. My mom got sick. Right. I had a divorce, and I gained my 3 kids. Okay. The custody of my 3 kids. Right. So I raised my 3 kids, and also my mom and my dad. I was their caregiver. Oh wow. Okay. For 15 years.
And all of this while you were going to NYU?
All those things while I was going to NYU. I had a lot of support, a lot of family support. Yeah. That would take care of my kids.
That's awesome.
And one of the reasons that I wanted to graduate from NYU was to show my kids, you know, that education is the most important thing. Oh yeah. Right after education, doors will open for you. Right. Right. And I did. I graduated. Okay. Yeah.
And then that led you to seeing the angel fall.
Yes. When I was working, I was working at Manhattan School of Music because it was nearby, and I could take care of my mom.
And you always live. You live in this area.
I live in this area for the longest time.
And for what I remember, you live like right down the street from here, or something like that.
I live across the street almost.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a blessing to
It really is.
Yeah.
So
it was a blessing to find a job here at Manhattan School of Music and Riverside, because I could actually take lunch to my mom. She was disabled. Yeah. Pick up my kids in the afternoon nearby. Right. So all the things worked. Okay. I had worked at Manhattan School of Music, here at Riverside and Barnard College.
Right. Wow. When you're doing that tour, again, just all the knowledge that you have about almost every piece, the bells, you know, the Caroline, all of these things from the ground floor with the artwork and, you know, just the history of Riverside.
Yes.
Do people ask you questions like, hey, so how do you know so much about all this stuff? Like, where did you gain all this information and knowledge from, right?
I think the knowledge that I gained in the last 30 years, you know, some is, you know, you read, but some of it is the connections that you make here. Right. 20 years ago, there used to be a gentleman who used to do the tours. His name was Bill Ebke, and he was an architect. Okay. And also he went to seminary right across the street, Union Theological Seminary, and he gave a really detailed tour. And every Sunday when he used to come, I would just shadow him. And he was really a nice man. He was actually vice president of the boys club, and he taught me how to do a tour. And then we people who have impacted me during the tours, John Madsen, who used to also help me in the gift shop. He was vice president of Macy's.
Okay.
So the retail part, and also he gave a great, really beautiful tour. And also Mace, our elder statesman of tours, Mace Anderson.
Really?
And Mace Anderson is really
Are we talking about the same Mace that
Mace, a
Parish
wonderful, wonderful
MCPL?
man, yes.
Yeah, and he's the singer.
Mace is probably the best tour guide that we ever had.
Get out. I mean, you know what? It's not surprising to hear that because he's a very charismatic individual.
He's
so,
very charismatic, you know, and Mace is a good person.
Yeah.
Mace carries the sentiment of Riverside in his heart.
Okay.
And he is very, Mace does a lot of things that people don't know. He is very giving, and people who need help, Mace helps them out.
That's
And
awesome.
nobody knows what, you know, but a lot of people in need, Mace brings his way
Right.
of.
So
doing things.
you've learned a lot from Mace in
I
that
learned a
sense.
lot from
Yeah.
Mace also.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And speaking of, is there something else that you're thinking of doing to these tours to help enhance it, the overall experience?
right-
Because
you
I
know,
know
right-
now things are kind of
Yes.
on chill
You know,
for now.
right now we're under construction.
Yep.
So the stained glass has been replaced, and the metal around the stained glass has been replaced and
Yeah.
waterproofing it.
Yeah.
So that takes that equation out. We
Right.
can speak about those wonderful stained glass.
Right.
So what I'm concentrating on is the iconography of the nave,
Okay.
of every little icon.
Right.
You know, what does it mean? And it tells a story.
Yeah. There's so many in there.
Yeah,
That
the
probably,
pillars of the nave,
right.
you know.
And even the light fixtures, right?
yeah,
They're all from Tiffany, correct?
Tiffany's.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Reverend Fosdick, Dr. Fosdick, the pillars of the nave, it tells the prophecies of Jeremiah. These things are just amazing.
Is that a thing? Really?
That's a thing.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
mean, I learn every day I learn a little different thing
Wow.
in this amazing place.
So yeah, with all of this history and all the things that you've seen here, even all the things that Riverside is all about, and just kind of moving on to the next piece of this, we've had so many different types of movements, right?
Yes.
We've had equal rights movements, justice, all of these other things. I think even Riverside, big proponent for social justice and equality and all these things, and just human rights, basic human rights,
Yes.
right? So now we're having a lot of these social issues that are being addressed, educational, policing issues, economic issues, right? Women's rights, human rights, mental health, gun violence, all these other things, gun control laws, all these policies, immigration, right? What do you think is I don't want to say cause, but if we could point back to any of these things, do you think it's just a lack of faith, morality, structure that we're dealing with that we're still dealing with some of these issues that are from way back, even from times that predated us? And again, we're not subject matter experts. We're not trying to be, but just for conversation's sake, what do we think it is, and what do we think we can contribute to help try to move things?
You're right. Since Fosdick, McCracken,
Right.
even Sloan Coffin, they all addressed the same societal ills that we are going through now. And I think the church has a big, important responsibility. When you come here on Sunday morning to worship, you want to be healed. You want to be nurtured. Okay, as a family, I think the family unit is very important in order to support your kids' education and morality in a way. It all starts from the home.
Right.
And if you have a nurturing home, a nurturing support church, that really helps helps society.
Right.
Because if you're at peace with yourself, with your heart,
Right.
okay, what you give is peace and love. So the church has a big responsibility in providing that support.
And not just on Sundays.
And not on Sundays, no.
It has to be every day.
Every
right?
day.
Right.
Every day somebody walks into that door seeking help, we should provide it.
Right.
Also, as societal pressures, you know,
Right.
if you're a man who has 2 kids, you know, you're working harder now. You're probably working 6 days, okay, to support those kids, you know, and where do you find the time to educate them?
Right.
Which on Sunday morning, you know, okay, you come to church, fine, and then, you know, and then you maybe go and do grocery shopping.
Right.
Where do you find the time,
Right.
you know, to check homework? You know, I have 3 kids, and I was a single parent, but I checked the homework, and I instilled in them that education was the most important thing.
Right.
And right now I have 2 lawyers and a cyber executive.
Wow.
They're doing really well.
That's amazing.
And I have 5 grandkids who are just wonderful.
We got to give you a hug for that
No,
one.
no,
Yeah,
no.
that's
But you
amazing,
know,
man.
it starts from the home.
You
like
added
I say,
3
you know.
amazing human beings to this society. So
No,
there you go.
Thank you. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
But, and I think my grandkids are gonna fall, you know, in
Fall right
line.
in line.
with-
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
So it's
So like you said, a lot of it does start from home, right? But then
starting home.
when it dives into politics, you know,
Yeah,
things like that also can get a little bit misconstrued. Things get twisted.
Definitely.
Even some good people fall into some very bad territory when it comes to stuff like that, right? So
The whole nation is so divided.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you go to New York and you go to Florida, different mindset.
Oh my goodness, it's like night and day.
night
right?
and day,
Or
so
you know,
it's
depends on who you ask, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
like you said, a completely different mindset, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a moment in time that sticks out to you now, I know that you said immigration is just a little bit of a touching point for you, but if there's anything that sticks out in time for you, like what would it be now, especially with our current affairs? You know, what does that look like for you? There's so many, right?
Yeah, but one common ground that I think it is, people, we need to pray. And some people say, you know, oh, get prayer, you know, but I all throughout my life, you know, I have seen what prayer could do.
Yeah. But people
Yeah.
laugh at that, right?
Huh?
People laugh at that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
which is
You know, we have some prayer warriors here at Riverside, you know, they're not joking when they say, I will pray for you,
yeah.
you know, and I've been in my,
My mom's a prayer warrior, so
yeah,
you know.
prayer really changes things.
Yeah.
And if you're a praying person, you're a good person. You know, you want to help your fellow man, and you know, I mean, yeah. And also always have faith.
Yeah.
Always have faith. You can never lose faith and hope. I remember when Nelson Mandela came, 1992 when I started.
Right. Oh, he came that year.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I was not in the mailroom. They say, you want to be a co-check? I go, okay,
Right.
co-check.
Yeah.
And I was in the Nardex being a co-check. And almost 100 African drums came in, processing from 490 door, and walked into the nave, and then he came in, you know. After 27 years, he never lost hope. So we can never lose hope on society.
Right. You know, there's certain people
Because
that
it's always,
yeah.
you know,
If
God is
if somebody else
huge.
could have that kind of hope, you know,
Yes.
why can't us, right?
Yes.
So,
God is huge.
but again, you know, 27 years, right? But then it's like we're still fighting the same fight, you know. But
Not
we
the
are-
same fight. I think it gets better.
It gets better, and
Yeah.
it's you know, we've made some strides.
Yeah, and now with with social media, the world, everybody's connected.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to. You could say something, and the whole world, you know, it's what they call it now. What you could say, trending.
Yeah, trending.
Trending, you know.
Yeah.
So it could be influenced that way also.
To kind of wrap this up and to kind of close things out, so what are some things that people may or may not know about you? Or if these walls could talk, what would they say?
I'm very talkative, so people know about me.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
I think
Do you have any boxing in your on your spare time?
boxing.
Yeah. Do you box? Do
No,
you-
no, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
Okay. Hey, listen.
I love to follow the Yankees.
Diane Russo is apparently she's a black belt. I'm probably misquoting the actual thing, but she's she's a little bit of a fighter on her spare
really?
time. Yeah. So
When I was younger, after I had my heart operation, I had an uncle who was a karate instructor.
Okay.
So I spent, I think it was 10 years before I went to college.
Okay.
And I have a black belt in Shotokan.
So you do have something.
So Shotokan
Okay.
karate,
Right.
and that really helped me with my discipline.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So that's
And how long you been doing? How long were you training for that? How long were you training for that?
For black belt?
Yeah, because I know that's a while, right?
Probably like 10 years.
10 years. Wow.
And in 1992, 1982, I'm sorry.
Okay.
When I graduated from high school, I went to Okinawa,
Oh wow.
Japan,
Get out of here.
to actually get my black belt.
Okay.
Japan Karate Association gave me my black belt over there.
They didn't ship it over here.
No, we went over there, and it was in camps.
Yeah.
You had to actually the test, or the kumite,
Yeah.
which to get your black belt, was in Okinawa, in these really barracks, like camps.
Yeah.
And they didn't give you that much food. It was they gave you fish eye soup for breakfast.
Yeah. Enjoy that.
Yeah, really. You see the eyes of the fish.
Yeah.
And the soup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was delicious.
That sounds delightful.
Delightful. And so I got my black belt there. And I came back, and I remember we took the bus on the way to the airport
Yeah.
in Okinawa, and we saw McDonald's.
It was all hell.
It was all hell. All the kids, they were so hungry,
Yeah.
eating fish eye soup. Yeah.
Yeah. Take everything
And,
off.
and white rice. We ran into the McDonald's.
I'm sure. Barefoot probably, right? Kicking my shoes off, I'm running to it. I don't care.
No, in the morning there was an exercise
Yeah.
that barefooted with your gi
Yeah.
will walk up these frozen mountains in Okinawa,
Wow.
barefooted. And before frostbite, but you had to really concentrate
Yeah.
in order not to get frostbite.
Okay.
Mind over matter thing.
Mind over matter, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That was really hard.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Didn't know that about you, but all right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I did. Now I
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
you're here talking to me. Right.
yeah. Now you're talking to the end.
Raymond, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a delight. We should probably do this sometime soon. I'm sure you're
Okay.
gonna have more stories from me later on in the future. But yeah, thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I'd like to close it out with a fist bump.
All right. There
There
you
we
go.
go, man.
Thank you. Peace.
That's it, man. And that's a cut.